Hi, I'm Peter Gabbert, and today I'm going to be teaching about the process writing approach. This is a 60-minute lesson targeted towards 9th grade composition students. Hopefully this would be accomplished very early in a high school career and have value for the remaining 4 years. My objectives are threefold. I want students to be able to understand the steps of the process writing approach, have a chance to practice the process writing approach both individually and through collaboration, and be able to identify which writing method works best for them, whether it's writing as a product or the process writing approach. We're going to begin with a warm-up activity designed to help students come in from the hallway where they're in an abstracted environment and focus, get into a productive mindset, get the creative juices flowing, but do so in a totally low-stakes environment. The idea here is also to solidify some previous lesson learned. So say last week we did unit on poetry. This week we're going to do our warm-up activity on something that we studied last week. So we're going to review haikus. The assignment here is to write a haiku about your favorite food. This is a 5-minute activity. The objective is to give students a fun and harmless way to warm up their writing muscles before they have to write a piece that will be reviewed by their peers. So take 5 minutes, write a haiku about your favorite food. At the end of that time, optionally we can let students read their haikus to the class. And maybe I'll get a laugh about somebody's haiku about spaghetti or something like that. Sort of break the ice a little bit. Next, we're going to proceed with the presentation, the lecture portion of this class. The goal here is to teach the process writing approach. We're going to present the information. This is a 10-minute lesson, and we will satisfy our objective of helping students understand the steps of the process writing approach. So first of all, the steps of the process writing approach are pre-writing, drafting, workshopping, and revising. 4 steps. The first step is pre-writing. This is where you're going to set a goal for your piece, have a vision for what you want your piece to be. You'll brainstorm ideas, jot down notes. If you're doing academic writing, this is where you would research your topic, make an outline, etc. You're going to organize your thoughts so you have something concrete to build on in the second step of the process writing approach, which is drafting. This is where you're going to incorporate the best aspects of your research and the ideas you came up with in the brainstorming stage and write a draft. It does not need to be perfect on the first try. In fact, I encourage you to just get something on paper rather than perfecting it as you go, because there'll be time for that later. Which brings me to the third stage of the writing process, which is workshopping. This is where you're going to take the draft that you've written to a group of peers and ask them to read it and offer constructive feedback. When they are offering their feedback, you take notes and set your personal feelings aside so we can just be productive. Of course, you want to be honest but respectful, and your classmates are counting you to do the same. If you absolutely disagree with somebody's feedback, you don't have to use it, but there's no point in having an argument during the workshop. So listen well, take good notes, you can sort it out later. In the fourth step, which is revising, this is where you look through the notes on your feedback that your peers provided and begin to incorporate the good suggestions into your piece. And the process writing approach is a cyclical, recursive method. So now we've gone all the way through once, we have a new product. So we can actually go back to the start with our new product, run it through the process again, hopefully come up with an even more improved product. We've presented the lesson now. We're going to spend the remaining 45 minutes of class on an activity. The objective for this activity is to let students try both the process and product writing approaches and identify which one works best for them. The assignment here is to write a description based on a photo. So we get some practice writing descriptions, but more importantly, get to put it into practice, experience the process writing approach. So very first of all, without any context for this assignment, I'm going to present a photo of a very elaborate ice cream sundae. The reason I chose this photo is because it has a lot of individual details. You've got brownies, Oreos, cookie dough, white chocolate, chocolate chunks, there's caramel sauce, chocolate sauce, whipped cream, I think there's peanut brittle in there, a lot that students can focus on. But don't give them any further description than that. Just write a description of this photo. Take 5 minutes, write 1 paragraph. When the students are done, at the end of 5 minutes, set those descriptions aside. Don't touch them for now. We'll come back to them later. Next, we're going to present a different photo. And again, it doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it's not the same photo as before. In this one, we got a lot of key details of this cheeseburger here. We got a sesame seed bun, got your beef patty, melted cheese, crispy onion strings, pulled pork barbecue with some barbecue sauce, etc. A lot that students can focus on. Just give them a new thing, so it's a different piece. Again, Students take 5 minutes, write a 1 paragraph description of the cheeseburger. At the end of this time, we're going to split students into groups of 3s and give them 5 minutes to take turns reading their description aloud and receiving feedback from the other 2 people in the group. Encourage them to take notes during that time. Everyone gets a turn. At the end of this 5-minute workshop, which is our writing process in action, students will go back to their own desks, take 5 minutes to individually revise their descriptions and incorporate feedback from the first workshop session. This is the revision stage in action. After they've revised their piece the first time, we're going to split back into groups, this time groups of 5, and all new people, fresh faces, fresh perspective. Give them 10 minutes, everybody gets to read their piece aloud, receive feedback from their peers, make notes on that. At the end of the 10 minutes, they should have some more good suggestions. We'll take another 5 minutes to revise for the second time and incorporate those new feedback suggestions into their piece. At the end of the second revision stage, they'll have a twice workshopped, twice revised description, and it should be a pretty fully realized piece. The last thing we're going to do to class is take 10 minutes. Students will go back to their own desks and read for themselves the description of the ice cream sundae, which they wrote sort of by the product method, where you try to do the best you can in one take, and compare that to the description of the cheeseburger, where they workshopped it several times, incorporated a lot of revisions, feedback from their peers. The goal here is that students will be able to identify in their own assessment which technique worked better for them, whether it's the product method or the process approach. Whatever the case may be, which one worked best for you, and then give me 3 observations about why that approach worked best for you. I want students to really dig into which process helped them write more effectively and why. And then optionally, time permitting, allow students to read their favorite description to the class. We're already in a safe workshopping space, so it's a great opportunity to let someone share something they're proud of. So that was my lesson plan. By the end of this time, students should be able to list the steps in the process writing approach. They've practiced this process writing approach in action, both individually and through collaboration, and they should be able to identify whether process or product works best for them and why. So again, thank you for watching. I look forward to hearing from the rest of you, and please don't hold back in your feedback. I'm not a teacher in real life, so this is all a little new to me, but I look forward to hearing from you.